Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, September 11th. This is Gina Palma. Over the next several days, we will have very strong winds and dry conditions move across the Great Basin out ahead of a cold front, especially today and tomorrow across the largest area where wind gusts will exceed 45 miles per hour in some areas, especially on Wednesday and into Thursday. Relative humidity will also drop below 10%. A cold front will move through starting in Idaho today with cooler temperatures behind the front, and then we'll move east and south as we move through Wednesday and Thursday with a significant drop in temperatures across the Great Basin over the next few days. We'll also see a few isolated showers in the far north, but the strong winds and the very dry conditions out ahead of the front will be the main impact over the next few days. No showers or thunderstorms have impacted the Great Basin over the last 24 hours, with light initial attack across the area. Looking at the observed precipitation over the last week, on the image on the left shows the precipitation over the southern areas of the Great Basin, but has also been below normal for the time of year. Over the last 30 days, the percent of normal precipitation is shown on the right, and near normal precipitation in some areas of the southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin over the last month, but largely well below normal in most areas. Looking at our current ERC conditions, ERCs are still above the 80th to 90th percentile over the northern half of the Great Basin, with still many spots above the 97th percentile over eastern Idaho into northern Utah and northern Nevada. Looking at a couple of these ERC charts, you can see the top right shows northwest Utah, and the bottom right shows the Sierra Front, both areas seeing ERCs above historical maximums for the time of year. The satellite loop from this morning shows the strong area of low pressure off the northwest coast, which will continue moving eastward with very strong winds out ahead of this cold front. The cold front will move through over the next few days, dropping temperatures. However, again, these strong and gusty winds will continue for the next 2 to 3 days. Also, another feature of note, which is off the far right of the image, is Hurricane Florence, and that will continue moving northwestward towards the Carolina coast and is looking to make landfall sometime early Friday morning. Now looking at the smoke dispersion forecast over the next few days, with these strong winds moving across the Great Basin, this will really help disperse a lot of the smoke from the wildfires to our west. So again, we'll have minimal smoke over the area, but the very strong winds will likely increase fire activity. Looking at our forecast for later today, again, the strong winds you can see in the image on the left out ahead of that front. We do have a large area of high risk that extends from Northern California all the way through the northern half of Nevada and Utah and up into eastern Idaho and Wyoming, where relative humidity will be the lowest and fuel conditions are the most critical. Looking at the relative humidity today, many areas of Nevada and Utah are in the single digits this afternoon, with low teens over eastern Idaho. And again, you can see the wind picture on the right. Wind gusts generally between about 30 and 35 miles per hour today. Today will be generally the lighter winds of the next few days, as they will continue to get stronger. As we move into Wednesday, that trough moves into the northwest coast. We may see some showers over parts of Idaho on Wednesday and general cloud cover further south. However, again, it's the strong winds that will continue across Nevada and Utah and will increase in strength. So we will continue our high risk for gusty winds and low relative humidity on Wednesday, with also conditions spreading further south. Relative humidity remains mainly in the single digits over much of Nevada and Utah on Wednesday, but will start increasing across Idaho as that cold front moves eastward, with temperatures decreasing. You can see the wind image on the right. Winds will strengthen as we move into Wednesday, with many gusts above 45 miles per hour across most areas of Nevada and Utah. Also, these stronger winds will be longer in duration than what we normally see moving across the Great Basin, so we'll have 6 to 9 plus hours of the stronger winds and low relative humidity. So they will start earlier in the day and continue later in the evening. On Thursday, the cold front continued tracking eastward across the north, with those gusty winds being shifted further south and east, with continued high risk for southern and eastern Nevada into Utah. Relative humidity on Thursday remains in the single digits to low teens across Nevada and Utah and continues to increase across Idaho. And you can see the wind gusts continuing to increase and spread further east and south on Thursday over mainly Utah and into southern and eastern Nevada. We'll also continue with gusty winds across Idaho and Wyoming. However, relative humidity will be going up. Temperatures will plummet the next few days and drop between 8 and 15 degrees over the northern half of the Great Basin through Wednesday and Thursday, and drop about 5 degrees in the far south. No real precip to speak of over much of the Great Basin, with the exception of central Idaho. As that cold front moves through, we'll see some light shower activity. As we go into Friday and the weekend, we continue with this trough off the west coast and continue with those gusty southwest winds across the area. We have no high risk for Friday, but we'll continue to watch the conditions as we go later in the week and the weekend, as again, winds will remain breezy. On Saturday, another trough of low pressure moves into the northwest. This will increase potential shower activity for the northern areas of the Great Basin, with continued breezy winds and drier conditions further south. Again, no high risk on Saturday, but we will continue to look at the winds and see if there are any areas that may need high risk for Friday and Saturday. On Sunday, the trough starts to move eastward across the northern portion of the Rockies, with winds starting to decrease across the Great Basin and continued dry weather through Monday as well. Forecast amounts of precipitation are just confined to any precip will be light over the central Idaho mountains, with drier weather elsewhere across the basin. As we go into the third week in September, we'll continue to see above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.